Hello, good evening. This is going to be a brief review before we get started with the actual lesson. Don't worry, it's a pretty easy review. If you want to, you can watch this at like 1.5 times speed so you can zip right through it. But anyway, let's just get started. Alright, so in the next lesson, we're going to be dealing with equations that look like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. So, in order for us to factor an equation like that, we need to be able to identify the a, b, and c values for a given equation. So, if I have something that looks like this: 2x squared plus 5x minus 9. In this case, my a value, which is also called the leading coefficient of the equation, my a value is 2. So I'd write a is equal to 2. And you can pretty much see the parallel. Like if you notice, 2x is, or 2 times x squared is analogous to the general equation a times x squared. So you're pretty much just looking at the general equation, which would be this one, and finding the corresponding part. In this case, 2 is correspondent to a. Now, for my b value in this case, you might have already figured it out, is 5. So I will write out b is equal to 5. And lastly, c is equal to negative 9. And you want to make sure you're including basically the corresponding sign. So since it's 5x minus 9, we're going to include the entire minus 9, or in this case negative 9. So we'll just say c is equal to negative 9. I hope I didn't confuse you with all my words right there. All you really got to worry about is just looking at each numerical term and basically writing it to the corresponding a, b, or c in the general equation. Alright, so in the actual lesson that we're going to be working on, we have equations with a leading coefficient of 1 at first. So all you're going to be working with is an equation with the leading coefficient of 1, so something that looks like this: x squared minus 8x plus 12. That is going to look like an equation that we will be working on shortly. Notice how in this equation we have the 1 there. It's 1 times x squared technically. That's all I mean when I say a leading coefficient of 1. So in this case, I could write a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 8, because we're including that entire negative sign with it, and c is equal to 12.